What's up, everyone? I got something a little bit different for you today. Going to be showcasing some XDefiant gameplay, kind of the newest FPS game on the block. And this did come out a couple weeks ago, so I'm a little bit late to the party. But now that I've got my hands on it and played a little bit of it, I decided I'd show off some gameplay for all of you. And first things first, just gonna address it. This game is very obviously heavily inspired by Call of Duty. Has very similar game feel and mechanics, but it does have kind of its own unique spin on it with combining what I guess people are gonna call Overwatch mechanics with the skills and abilities and ultimates. Although I think Overwatch kind of took those from MOBAs, but at least in the FPS setting, people kind of call that the Overwatch package. But yes, this game does have that kind of combined with Call of Duty. You have 5 classes in game, or factions as they call them. 4 of them are available at the start. The 5th you can purchase, or I think just unlock by playing the game. From what I can tell from what I've played so far, I'm over a third of the way to getting that, so I don't think it takes too long to unlock the 5th class if you don't want to drop any cash on it. But I guess we'll see how it goes if they probably inevitably add more after that. But of the 5 classes in the game right now, there is the Cleaners, Echelon, Phantoms, DeadSec, which is the one that you have to unlock, and then what I'm playing as today is Libertad. And like I said, those have you have a passive skill, an active skill, an ultra, which is kind of their just name for the ultimate ability. But you could, for the active skill, you actually have 2 options for every class to pick from, but you can only have one equipped at a time. So even if you've got a situation like what's going to be in most matches, at least starting off, when people only have the 4 classes, and even if they have all 5, there's going to be at least one repeat because it's 6v6. Even if you have some duplicate classes, they won't necessarily be running the same abilities. So even though there's kind of a theming to the class, like Libertad is healing support, so yeah, both abilities are going to be kind of similar in that regard. But I think me and at least the one other Libertad player that I'm next to right now are running the same ability, but we could be running a little bit of a different loadout. And of course, the weapons are all completely separate. Every faction can run any weapon they want. That's kind of at the start of the match. You pick a faction, and then you pick a loadout, and you're free to change. Pretty sure you can change either of those as the match goes on, so you don't have to really commit to anything if you want to change it up as the match is going. But I should talk about Libertad. So your passive skill is that you kind of give health regen to yourself and people around you. There is normal Call of Duty FPS, and I guess Battlefield, a lot of games have it now where you just heal naturally after you've been out of combat for a while. Everyone has that, but Libertad has a slower healing that's always active even if you just took damage, which can help out a little bit. I do think it's probably one of the weakest passive skills because most of the time, if you need a lot of healing, it's not going to heal you fast enough, and you're going to get that out-of-combat healing anyways. But the rest of the skills are a little bit stronger. The active ability, as you've probably seen me use at least once so far this match, is the one I have equipped, is I throw down a little healing station, which can heal me and allies, and actually lasts a pretty long amount of time. Enemies can destroy it if they shoot at it or hit it with grenades or anything like that, but if they don't, it's pretty small and hard to see. It offers a lot of healing, but not gonna help me right there. Get hit by a nade and just get blown up by that. But then finally, my ultimate ability, which we won't see for a while. Ultimates actually build relatively slow in this game, and I think that's because, unlike most games with them, there is no passive regen. Or if there is, it's incredibly small for building your ult. You have to get points to get it, which, killing people or playing the objective is how you get that. So most of the time I've found, even on matches that go pretty long, I usually only get 2 ultras. And if you're having a pretty bad match, and it's something with like multiple rounds or something like that, you might not even get a single ultra in a round. So that is kind of different from the other games. You're not going to be seeing a lot of them unless you're kind of popping off. And even then, it's not going to be as many as you might see in another game. But the ultimate for that, for Libertad, is you put down kind of a healing zone, which increases max HP by 100. So for me, it put me up to that 200, and then also heals really fast. You pretty much become a juggernaut while you're standing in that zone. I think unless you get like headshot by a sniper or a lot of people are shooting at you once, you're probably going to be pretty much unkillable. But it doesn't last too long, but it is very strong, especially if you have multiple teammates standing in there. But like I said, snipers right there. I don't actually know if that probably wouldn't have got me there. I don't know if he headshot me or not, but there are some snipers that can get the one-shot kill on the body shot, which is one of my concerns for the game. I have been enjoying it a lot so far, but especially the TAC 50 sniper seems to pretty consistently one-shot kill on body shots, and I don't think it's really that hard to aim, but I guess, without trying out too much myself, I'm not gonna claim that the people aren't just out skilling me in that regard, but I've heard other people complain about it as well, so it might not just be a concern for me. So we'll have to see how they address that. I know Call of Duty in the past had a lot of stuff with like quick scoping. I think Modern Warfare 2 was kind of the big time where people really liked that, and then they kind of, I know in Black Ops, I think, they did some things to nerf it a lot. I don't know if they ever went back on that, but that was somewhat of a controversial thing, because I know a lot of people liked quick scoping, but not really that fun to be on the other side of when you just get blasted and instantly die. But I do have my Ultra ability available now. This point here is slowly expiring, and we're moving to the next one. I guess I haven't talked about that. We are playing King of the Hill, or Occupy as they call it. It's just King of the Hill, but it's pretty fast paced for this one, because normally in these types of game modes, after one hill expires and a new one begins, there's a little bit of a downtime period before it activates. But no, in this one, it is immediately active on the next one, so if you see the next one's about to start, you can head over there and start accruing points right away. But I've activated my Ultra ability here. I did it outside the point, which means I kind of stuck to this corner, but it did give me a lot of healing there and for my teammates outside. So, like I said, it doesn't last a whole lot of time, but it's pretty much invincible while it does. So I think I'm doing pretty good. So I was one of the first people to get their Ultra, but there's the enemy coming in. There's that flamethrower. The cleaner faction has that. And that one's incredibly strong. I think if you don't have any sort of healing or extra HP, a single puff of fire won't kill you outright, but the afterburn afterwards will finish you off unless you get some sort of healing. So it kills you pretty fast, even just that little bit of a touch on you. But I'm not sure how strong it is overall, because it doesn't make you move faster or anything like that. And so if people see you coming and just shoot you, you're not any tankier while you've got it out. But if you get in on a big group of people, you can definitely get a lot of kills, which I've managed once or twice, and it's a pretty satisfying feeling. We'll have to call out any other ultimates or ultras as we see them come out. Those are the only ones we've seen so far. Echelon is probably the strongest one in my opinion. I don't actually know if the enemy team is running any Echelons this match. That's kind of the stealth class. One of their active abilities is an active cloak, which deactivates when they shoot, but makes them hard to see. And their passives, they don't appear on radar. And then the other active skill is kind of a wall hack, which that is why I think they're probably going to be the meta faction to run at least a couple of them on every team, because wall hacks, while also not appearing on radar, is pretty good in FPS games, as I think a lot of people have learned over time. And then their ultimate ability is they get a kind of a silenced pistol and permanent wall hacks for themselves, and then the pistol does, like, I think it might one shot on body shot, but either way, like 2 shots everybody, so it's pretty crazy. And that one's pretty strong. It lasts longer than the Libertad Healing Ultra, I think. So that one's pretty strong. And then the last one, which I think we'll see because we've got at least some phantoms on my team, is they kind of put a bubble around themselves, and they have this like one-shot shotgun thing that only shoots within their bubble. So it kind of just forces you to disengage from their shield bubble unless you really want to try and sneak in and shoot them before they blast you with that. That one is annoying to deal with, but they're very slow while it's active, so it's kind of up to you whether you want to engage them. But if they're on an objective, maybe you have to. That's kind of the advantage to it. And then DeadSec, which is the final one. I actually haven't seen that one yet, but I think it just deactivates other abilities, but it's for a pretty long time, so that one might be considered pretty good too, especially if it turns out people are taking really good advantage of their abilities in fights. But so far this match has been pretty even. We kind of started to pull ahead with that last point. It's interesting that some of the hills are kind of pretty far on the corners of the map, and depending on where people are spawning up, it can be pretty hard to take that back before it's expired. But after we got that one, pretty much the full duration, it has spawned the next one on the opposite side, which is kind of doing the same for the enemy, but we're going to see if we can approach right there. I should also talk about the MP5 is the gun I'm using. I've been liking that a lot. I think it's my favorite SMG so far. I tried out the Vector and I think the P2000. I might be confusing. That's the good guy Grog in the kill feed. He's using that gun. I always forget the name of it. I confuse it with the P2020 from Apex, which is a pistol, not an SMG. But I like that gun too, but I think the MP5 is still my favorite so far. And then the assault rifles, kind of like the AK-47 so far. And I don't think the shotguns are very good. I want to try out the shotguns more, but they seem pretty weak. I know in the past when I played Call of Duty games, the shotguns can be fairly effective, at least if you get up close, but these seem pretty finicky. Even close, you have to be pretty accurate with your aim to actually get the one-shot kill, and you do have to get closer than I'd expect in a game like this with such a kind of low TTK, so I don't know if those are going to end up being good. I'll have to try them out more and see if I can get a good game with them, but so far I've been struggling a bit. It popped down my Ultra here again. Not the best spot since it was off the point, but I was about to die, and I felt like staying alive there before anything else. We see another Flamethrower. That's kind of the only Ultra we've seen so far. If you see kind of the, I don't know, the fart cloud looking thing on the point, that is how enemy heal stations appear, which is interesting choice of displaying it. Not the nice blue, but that color is what they picked. So that's the enemy one, which I could have shot there, but I just had to drop on them, so I decided to take them out first, and then died to the other enemy afterwards. But gonna keep fighting over this central zone here, which is a pretty hard one to hold, but looks like people are focused on other things first. I'm gonna get that kill there. And I throw it on the heal thing. Maybe not the best spot because they could shoot it through the little cubby there, but at least if they do, I'll know they're coming and probably get the kill on them as well. I'm actually not you know, for the MP5, I was thinking back when I played this match that I probably could have done better if I had something other than the iron sights, but I actually think the iron sights for MP5 aren't half bad, and for SMGs and stuff, you're not usually going to be too effective at long range anyways, so you don't necessarily need the better scope, but that's something I'm going to have to try out too, because I have unlocked a couple other scopes for the MP5 now. But this middle point here is about to expire, and we're getting pretty close to the necessary points to win. 250 is the amount we're looking for, and I'm fighting for that last little bit. I actually somehow managed to get out of there alive. Maybe my passive healing did kind of manage there. But even though that point expired, they're still fighting on it. I don't know if they realize, and the rest of my team is already on the next one. That's going to count up to 250, and that is going to get us the win. So pretty close match, but we kind of pulled ahead with a couple of really good hills at the end there, and that is going to be enough to get us the win. And I also got Player of the Game, MVP. Pretty happy with that. This is probably one of the best matches I've had so far. But yeah, that was XDefiant. A game I'm having a lot of fun with so far, but there is probably some balance issues that are becoming more apparent the more I play. So we'll see how they address that. They've, you know, they got their ability to patch and hopefully keep things in a pretty good state. But overall, you know, it's free. I'd recommend trying it out if it looks fun to you. The only downside, I guess, is that you have to download Ubisoft Connect if you're on PC, which is kind of a pain. But if you can get through that, you know, I think it's worth giving it a try. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing some of that gameplay. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.